We will be playing Cartographers. And I just got a personal message if I am starting right now, so let me answer that real quick. There we go. I know there's quite a few people that expressed interest in joining tonight, so I'm gonna give everybody a minute or two to hop in before I dive into the full explanation, but we won't be too long. Hi Lycan. But yeah, Cartographers is a really popular game lately, especially with the app releasing this week or last week. Everyone has been hooked on this, and I get it because it's super addictive. Hi Derek. But yeah, this has definitely become one of my favorite roll and writes, flip and writes in the genre recently. I really enjoy coloring, so the app is fun if you just want a quick game, but I much prefer this version. I'm probably at some point going to spend an entire day playing one game of this and drawing the most insanely detailed map. I won't do that today because I'm not gonna keep you guys around here for hours. Hi Sam! I see everybody's trickling in. I know at least Dean said he was going to join, and I think Ben was gonna try and make it, but he wasn't sure if he could. So yeah, we definitely have a couple of people around tonight, which is great. Lycan, can you do me a favor and give Dean a nudge so that he's not forgetful about what time we were supposed to be starting? I know you have his contact info, so thanks. I know he took time off work to join, so I don't want him to miss out. That'd be unfortunate. But yeah, today we're playing Cartographers. You can see the logo from the rulebook here. I put it underneath my sheet so that I am less likely to press through it and make it easier to draw. You can write your own name here if you want. And we're going to be playing the solo mode so that people can play along at their own pace. The multiplayer mode is almost identical with the exception of running into monsters. In multiplayer, you would pass your sheet to somebody and they would put a monster on your sheet. That's going to be hard, guys, over camera social distance style, so we're going to be using the solo rules. Which means you can gain a ranking at the end of the game if you use solo scoring, but you can also just use regular multiplayer scoring, it doesn't matter that much. In which case you can give yourself a snappy little title and name your kingdom and give yourself a shield if you want. All of that stuff is just optional, but it adds to the flavor of the game. I think we're gonna slowly start explaining, and if somebody shows up a little late, we'll just back up a bit if needed. But in this game, we'll be drawing different shapes all across our board. And those shapes can be 5 different types of land. You have villages, which are red. And if you're colorblind, this game does come with shapes. We played it last weekend with one of our colorblind friends, and he was able to do just fine by looking at the shapes on the cards. It might be a little harder to see on camera, but I will, of course, narrate what you're supposed to be drawing. But these are red villages with little houses. You have green trees with little trees. Then you have farmlands with little rows that you can plant stuff in. And then water with little waves in blue. Hi, Ben. Oh, I have the link to the sheet, actually, but thanks for asking, and I should totally post that in case anybody just jumped in and doesn't have it yet. I posted the low ink sheet. I have seen some people use the high ink version, but I know it doesn't seem to be uploaded on Board Game Geek or the publisher's website, and I don't want to be sharing anything that they don't mean to be shared. So I'm gonna share the low ink unofficial sheet. And if you want a pretty one like this, please support the publisher by buying the game. So yeah. By the way, you can also play this on, I think, both Tabletopia and Tabletop Simulator at this point. So you can also play digitally. And there's an app out recently, but it's the full game, so it won't let you manually draw and stuff, so you can't use that for playing along with this game. So yeah, these cards will be drawn, and we will draw one so I can show you how it works. Oh, that's the ruins. I swear I didn't stack this deck, but now I can explain how those work. On your sheet you can see little ruin symbols. And whenever one of the ruins is drawn, that means the next shape that we find will have to overlap one of those ruin spaces. Hi, Dean. Just in time. Ah, that's another ruins. That can happen. That doesn't do anything. And then we draw the next card. Seriously? Okay, I'm gonna change this real quick because I don't want to start by explaining how a monster works. He'll come back out at some point. Let me rig this. Okay. See, I should have stacked the deck. Alright, so now we have a card that says 2 for time, and the current season is spring, which says if these cards add up to 8 or more, that's going to be the end of a round and we're going to score points. And we're going to do this for 4 seasons, and the seasons are going to get shorter as we go, so the game will speed up a bit. And each season we will score 2 conditions. In the first season you will score A and B, then B and C, then C and D, and finally in winter D and A. You can see that at the bottom of your sheet, but it's really tiny and really hard to read. So for the first round of the game, we're only going to really be paying attention to these 2. Once you know the game, it's possible that you're going to ignore some of the scoring cards and focus on other ones a bit more instead of trying to do everything. That's up to you. And this says you would have to draw this particular shape, so a little Z with 2 by 3 in length, and you can draw that in either green trees or a red village. And remember, because we drew a runes, you have to make sure at least one of these spaces of this shape overlaps one of the ruin symbols on your board. You can rotate it and you can mirror it if you want. If you manage to surround this one, and in this game adjacency is only directly orthogonally adjacent, not diagonal. So if you manage to get 4 of these shapes, you earn a coin. Coins are points at the end of every season, so if you get a coin in the first season, you would get 4 points for that throughout the game. And then we have the scoring cards. This says you get 2 points for your second largest village. So you want 2 areas of red houses that are about equally big to score optimally. Just scoring 1 won't get you any points. You only get points for your second largest. Then we have Sentinel Wood, which will get you points for each green forest square that's touching the outer edge of your map. And if you put it in the corner, just counts once. You just say, does it touch the edge, yes or no? It doesn't matter that it touches both this edge and this edge. It's either 1 point or 0 points. Then Borderlands, each row or column that's completely full will get you 6 points. And then we have Mage's Valley, which requests particular colors next to the mountain. Ideally you want water next to it, because those are 2 points each. So if you surround it entirely by water, that would be 8 points. But you can also do it with farmland, and that would be 1 point each. So that's what we're going to be scoring this game. And if you play this game more often, there are 4 different types for each of the cards, and then the cards are in a random order. So next time we might have a different type of village scoring, and it might be at letter C instead of letter A. So there's quite a bit of replayability there. Let me figure out where I'm putting the shape. And as always, if you have questions, please let me know. I think I'm gonna start with a village, am I? I like both of these, but I think I'm gonna start with a village, because the village would be 2 points for each eventually, and this one is only 1. Unless I want to start working on a mountain. No, I'm gonna work on a mountain. I'm gonna do that then. Where's my forest? I have so many colored pencils, by the way. You see a few of them, that's not nearly all of them. Okay. I'm gonna draw in detail later, probably instead of during this game, otherwise I'm gonna hold you guys up forever. So I'm just gonna shade in blocks of color. If you don't have any colors around, you can just draw shapes. One of my friends who hates coloring just draws little trees and then just writes little tree shapes and little waves and stuff like that. So you don't actually have to use color. But I like coloring. By the way, if I at some point move on to a second card and you're like, I'm no way there yet, just shout at me in the chat box. Even if you just type out a random character and just hit something on your keyboard, I'll know to hold for a little bit. No need to write a full sentence. But I hope by now everybody has picked something. This one during scoring will be 3 points, because 3 of these squares now touch the edge. And I have half of this mountain surrounded for working towards a coin, so that seemed like a good choice to me. I am going to get little tree shapes here eventually. And the good part about me doing this is that you have more to think. And if you get annoyed with me coloring and you want me to play quicker, just let me know and I'll add in all of the detail later. I'm probably gonna spend time coloring this in later anyway and just draw the little shapes now. But it looks so cute! I know, you cannot build over a mountain. It's hard to build stuff on top of a really big mountain. And mountains do count as filled-in spaces when you're checking for borderlands, for example. So this is already a filled spot. Ruins are not a filled spot. Those count as a blank. And if we drew a ruins card like we just did, you are forced to build on top of a ruins. If we do not draw a ruins card, we just drew this one separately, then it's still allowed to build over a ruins space, but you don't have to. And if you draw over them voluntarily without being forced to, it's possible later on in the game that you get a forced ruins and you have none left. And in that case, you can't actually draw the shape and you have to draw one single square somewhere else instead. So that's less ideal because obviously the more you fill up your sheet, the better your chances are of scoring, especially when you get a card like Borderlands in there. Hi, Chris. Were you here early enough to see when I started explaining that I actually drew a monster first and I reshuffled the deck? Oh, let me show you those. I have a lot of them. So many pencils. Also, cat. Cat! Okay, back to this game. There we go. So that was the first one. I hope everybody's ready for the second one by now. With all my rambling, I think you should be. So that's the second one, and it no longer needs to go in a ruin space. You can put it there, but you can also put it anywhere else, basically. And you can make this shape a large L of 3 by 3. So 5 spaces total in either farmlands or water. And if you ever need me to hold this closer to a camera so you can see it better, just let me know. And remember, for this one, the water next to mountains was more than farmland, so you probably want to pick water in this case, but up to you. Oh, thanks. My day is good so far, and it's nice to see you hop in here for a little bit, even if you don't have time to stick around. We still like having you here. I got to play with Chris from the Charity Board Gamer last weekend when he did an event for Extra Life, and we also played this game. And yeah, we definitely should. We always seem to be on at opposite times, which happens when people live in the US compared to Europe. It can be hard to figure out a time to get a game going, but we totally should. Let's see, where do I want to put this? Probably not along the edge because I kind of want to keep the edge spaces for forest. I wish I could put it here. Well, I can, but not in a way that it completely closes off the mountain. I think I'm just going to put it nicely in the middle. Leighton is so good today. He hasn't even tried eating one of my colored pencils yet. The later in the evening I stream, the more annoying the cats get when I stream, because they're like, no, it's time to have dinner and cuddle on a couch, and no, it's time for us now. And then they try to get all up in this live stream and completely mess up the game. But they're cute, so we'll allow it. There we go. And remember, you can rotate and mirror any of the shapes. And yes, I am on Discord. I know Sam already has my Discord, but so we can probably get that sorted, or I'll message you through Facebook or Instagram or something. We'll get this sorted. Little waves. There we go. I hope everybody is ready. Have a great day, Chris. Thanks for stopping by a little bit. I hope you guys are ready. I will give you guys a second or two to yell at me if you're not, and in the meantime I'll just add more detail to this. And this is part of the reason why I love this game. And my biggest downside of the app. The app is nice because it's so quick to play and this game is addictive. But I can't color and I want to color. Alright, next card. That's a 1, so we're now at 5 out of 8. And you can pick between 2 shapes, but it has to be a village. You can either pick a smaller village of 3 or a bigger village of 5. If you pick the smaller one, you get a coin and then you can circle it. Remember to also circle a coin if you surround a mountain orthogonally, so the diagonal squares don't count. So if I have both of these or both of these, I also get a coin. Circle those coins here in the bottom row, and they will score you points at the end of every season. So in this case, that's kind of a little bit of a dilemma. Do you get an extra coin, or do you get a bigger shape so it can score more points? I'm gonna go for the coin because it's this early in the game. We get 4 seasons, so this will get me 4 points, and 2 squares will also get me at most 4 points. So it seems better to me to go for the small one right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm probably gonna... And now my dilemma is, do I want to surround a mountain so that I can get another coin? Or do I want to save those mountain spots and try to make them all farmlands and oceans, because those would be additional points. Each space next to a mountain that's water would be 2 points. So I am, like, by doing this, I already kind of lost 4 points. So it's a bit of a dilemma sometimes, but I think I'm gonna go for it anyway and just put it here. And once you play the game more, you start to know the explorer cards, you kind of know what shapes exist in the game, and you can take that into consideration. So I definitely think while this game is super easy to learn and play, that you can definitely get better at it if you play it more in a short time span, because you kind of get to know the deck. For some people that might be a pro, and for others that might be a con. I don't think it damages... Hi Floof, do you want to chat along? Hi Floof. I don't think that damages replayability, because I feel like with the different scoring cards and the different order of things, it's still pretty replayable. Plus there's a backside to this sheet with some wasteland in between that is really annoying. So, plus there's an expansion coming up for this game as well, if you do feel like you want more replayability. But for me, I wouldn't have minded the exploration cards being a larger deck. It would add more random, it would make the game more random, but I kind of like it. I think I would like it that way. But I'm perfectly happy with it as it is. I'm not missing that. I should color in my cat, I've been told. I'm not sure the cat approves. We can maybe draw a little cat in the shield later. But yes, Floof, you're grey. You can use more color. Alright, so I drew this shape. I assume you guys have drawn one as well. I should not forget to add my coin for picking this shape. And then a coin for surrounding the mountain. It doesn't matter that one of the diagonal spots is missing, because as I've mentioned a couple times, that's not part of scoring. Adjacency in this game is only orthogonally. So that will cover us. Let me draw some houses. I'm very bad at making all my houses the same size. Last game I decided to just draw a whole bunch of different houses in different shapes, so I wouldn't have to bother. And yeah, there are 4 possible goal cards for each type. So there's village, forest, water and ocean, farmland and ocean, and then neutral. So there's 16 in total, and they get added to random letters as well. So next time you might have a different type of village card, and it might also be in a different position than it is now. So there's a lot of possible combinations there, which really helps with the replayability. Hi Floof, why are you washing my arm? It's distracting. Okay, so another 2, we're at 7, so we're gonna get at least 1 more card. And there is one with a 0 in there, by the way, so the next card could be the last, but doesn't necessarily have to be. And then we get a fishing village, so either houses or an ocean in a straight line of 4. And of course, as always, you can rotate and mirror. And remember, you got points for the second largest city, so if you already have a village like I do, you probably want to keep this one separate from the other village. Oh, darn it, what color red did I pick last time? I should not have put that back in the box. Now I forgot which one I'm using. Uh-oh. I think it was this one. If not, it is now. Where do I want to put it? Not next to a mountain, probably. With the Borderlands goal, it might be nice to try and work towards a line like this or like this. And like this, it would touch an edge. It would touch an edge either way. I think I'm gonna put it like this. So even though we're not scoring this yet, I'm still thinking about it a little bit. And don't worry if you feel like you can't keep track of all of those goals and all of the things going on in this game at once. Like I said, you will get the hang of it if you play it more often. And it depends on my mood as well. I also really like to play this game when I'm super tired or stressed out and then just really focus on coloring something pretty. It's like, this fits here, let me color this now. And then totally not worry about scoring at all, and I still have a blast. So I do feel like this is a game that you can bring out with many different types of gamers, and that fits a whole bunch of different play styles. I think that's one of the positives about this game for sure. The second goal is you get 1 point for each forest space along the outer edge of your sheet. So in my case, these 3 do score and these 2 don't. We're not at scoring yet, but it's always good to ask if you're confused about what one of the cards means, because obviously that can influence your placement even before we get around to scoring. And usually when someone asks me a question, that means they're still thinking about placement, so I'll give you a second or two to catch up. And just color stuff in the meantime. Yay, coloring. And again, if you do get fed up with me coloring stuff in between, you're like, no, you're too slow, please speed this the heck up, then just tell me and I can totally do that. I'm already coloring with just basic shapes. I'm gonna, at one point, like I said, I'm gonna spend an entire day coloring a map of this, and I'll post it on Instagram or something so you guys can see the difference. Oh, someone linked me somewhere. Let me see. Ah, you linked to all of the different scoring cards so people can see what they are. That's great. By the way, I didn't see anybody ask this online, so I really have to check what that is. But when I played it's Chris, the Charity Board Gamers livestream last week, his monster cards had a different shape. And I think he said he doesn't have the expansion yet, so it does seem to me like maybe different editions or different printings or something could have a different monster layout. So that was interesting. Because at some point I was a little slow coloring along, so I tried to look through my cards to see what corner in the solo mode the monsters have to start in a particular corner, and you aren't allowed to freely choose where they get placed. So I wanted to look up what corner it was supposed to start in. And I was like, I don't have this shape in my deck. There is a separate little spec of skills that you can use, but there aren't any promo monsters according to BGG, so I have no idea what happened there, and I'm gonna have to ask the publisher or Chris or somebody to find out at some point. It would be really cool though if there are different layouts in different printings or countries or whatever. No, it was literally a completely different shape. I think I still have my sheet, so I can probably figure out later. Oh, I can do that now actually, in between stuff. In the meantime, I'll draw a new card, and then once you guys get around to scoring, I will figure this out, because I have my monsters here as well. There we go. Okay, next card. But yeah, that was my theory too, but it has been proven to be false. So the time is now at 9, so this is going to be the last card. It doesn't matter if it went over 8. It's not like the next season we're already going to start at 1 or whatever. This just triggers the end of this season and that's it. You can go for farmland or a forest in a little traditional L shape. I'm going to put that somewhere at the side of the board to work on the Sentinel Wood goal a bit more. And then I'll run you guys through scoring in case you need any help with that. Where do I want to put this? Here, probably. I forgot to bring out my eraser. I do have a really good eraser that works on colored pencils. I just keep forgetting to put it out when I stream stuff. So that means no changing my mind when I color. Or, interrupting the stream and grabbing my eraser, but let's not do that. I sometimes play this game with permanent markers anyway, so no changing your mind then. I tried to in an earlier game, actually. I did it before it ruined the tree, so I just made that part of the forest be filled with dead trees and then pretended it didn't exist, because it was the very last card of the game, so it wasn't a big problem and I could work around it. Okay, so scoring. What happens with scoring is that you check each of the cards, right now only A and B, and you fill them out here. So A, my second largest city, and each square is multiplied by 2. So my second largest city is 3 spots, times 2 is 6, so I write 6 points in here. And then this scoring card is gonna come up again in winter combined with this one, so I can still work on increasing that for later. And then every single forest space that's touching the edge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of the coins that I've earned, that would just be 2, because there was one shape that earned me a coin and I surrounded one mountain. And then the final spot is for minus points when monsters have appeared on your sheet, but they haven't, so we can ignore that for now. We'll get to that. If somehow miraculously we don't find a single monster in this game, I'll explain how it works at the end. And once we run into our first monster, I will also show you the monster cards so that we can marvel over the weirdness of the previous game. Or actually I can probably do it in a little bit. And it's 15 for me. And yeah, if you only have one village, this does nothing because you have no second largest village. So yeah, my stream with Chris, my sheet ended up looking like this. And for the record, these are 3 of the 4 monsters in the game. And as you can see, neither of these shapes match one of these shapes. So no, this had nothing to do with mirroring. Somehow I have different monster shapes in my game than Chris does. Or seems to have in his. I have no clue how or why, but it'd be cool if that's something that they meant to do. And if it is, then I'm curious how many different combinations there are. And also, I now totally need friends to buy their copies, and if they have different ones, show me. I hope there aren't like a billion different copies, because I know me, I'm gonna want them all. Although these are easy to print and play, I suppose if you sleeve them you won't really be able to tell the difference, but I just want the official real ones, and I want to be able to support the publisher. So if they did release different monster shapes, I hope we can at some point buy those as promos or something. Because I think Chris said he didn't have the expansion. I know he wasn't playing with the expansion cards for the scoring and the explorer cards, but maybe he does have the expansion and the monsters came from that or something. I'm gonna have to check with him. 15, 15, and 16 I see in chat, so we're all very, very, very close. So these all get shuffled in here. If we had found a monster, it would be discarded. But we haven't, so it stays in here. Plus we add one more monster to the game. So it increases the chance of us encountering a monster in the second season. And then we'll move on to summer. I'll shuffle this. Another 15. Close game, you guys. Alright, so the first card for summer. I hope everybody's caught up on scoring. A traditional Tetris T shape in either a village or a field. And remember, we are now in the second season, so the 2 scoring cards for this round will be these 2. Borderlands means you try to fill up rows and columns entirely, which I'm nicely on my way for at least some of them. And this one we already had, so you know how that works, hopefully. I could complete another mountain, and if I do that with a farmland, I still get 2 points, so that wouldn't be too bad. I think I might want to do that. I prefer to doing this with just water, but 2 points is better than no points. I leave a little triangle shape here. But if I do get a little triangle shape, this village would be all together. I'll figure it out. See guys, it has downsides if you know the cards in the game. It can become AP prone if you're not careful. Let me draw some farmland. And yeah, I've definitely seen players agonize over every placement and other people just going like, it fits there, done. And take 0.2 seconds every time. Yeah, I do know about the ambush cards, so I was wondering if Chris maybe had those. I didn't pay attention to the names of his monsters. Let's see, yeah, that does have two of the shapes that came up in our game, the insectoid and the flayer, so I didn't pay attention to the monsters he named, and I'm going to assume that Chris has the ambush cards in his game, and that would explain a lot. Because it wouldn't make sense if the ambush shapes match the shapes in one of the base games, so mystery solved. Also, I need those. Does the BGG store have them in stock? Because if so, I'm totally ordering them right after this stream. Somebody tell me that. In the meantime, let me make some farmland. I hate drawing straight lines, I'm no good at it. There we go. And I love how we're all coming together to solve this mystery. I knew I had looked at those ambush cards earlier in the week, but I didn't have my game sheet out with me, and I didn't think they were the same shape, but now that I have my sheet with me, I can see they totally were. So that was just me not remembering correctly. This is so not dark enough to actually tell. Maybe this one will be better-ish. Alright, I hope everybody's done drawing this. You probably are with the amount of time I tend to take. Okay, so now we get one of the zeros. See, I told you that exists. So you get to pick any of these colors in one single shape anywhere on your sheet. And you might be like, why the heck would I pick a monster? Because monsters are usually minus points for adjacent squares. That's because one of the scoring cards in the game requires you to put a village next to three different colors of landscape. So in that case you might need purple in order for that to score. But in this game you don't, so don't bother with that. I'm gonna go put a forest in this little hole because nothing else will fit there anyway. It will be 1 point for this and it will help me with my borderlands goal for both this row and this column. So that seems like my best choice here. Should start filling some of this stuff in while I chat with you guys. I hope people are almost done figuring out where to place a single square. I would think that's not, like some people might think, oh that's easy, that's just one spot, but because it's just one spot that means there's like a billion options, so some people might struggle with that more than a really large shape that later on in the game won't fit everywhere on your sheet. Yes, Floof, would you like to voice your opinion? Next card, there we go, a monster. Null rate. Okay, so how this works in a multiplayer game is everybody would pass their sheet counterclockwise and people would be able to place this and rotate and mirror it. In the solo mode, it works differently and it can be a little confusing for people to wrap their minds around. So if it's confusing to you, just let me know and we'll run over it until you get it. Well, look in the corner of this card. In this case, it shows the upper left corner. So you look at the upper left corner of your sheet and you try to place this shape exactly without rotating or mirroring it. So it would go in these 5 spots. In my case, it can fit there. In your case, it might not. If it does not fit there, you follow the direction of the arrow, so counterclockwise, and you slide it down. If you can't slide down anymore, you slide it to the side and you go in a circle. If you still can't fit it, you go to the top left corner, 1 row further in. So you try going like this, and if that still doesn't work, you start here and you work your way around. If you can't fit it anywhere, you can skip the monster, but this early in the game, that's pretty much impossible. In winter, it could happen. Lycan says the single square is indeed the one he has to think about the hardest. Oh, what color purple am I drawing this monster? I think we're making it pinkish purple today. So my monster has to go here, because it fits here. Yours, you might have to fiddle a bit more with yours if yours doesn't fit here nicely. And it doesn't matter that it overlaps a ruin space. Like I said, you're always allowed to overlap those. And if you draw a ruins card, you're forced to, but if you don't, it's still allowed. So that does not block your placement. Has everybody been able to figure out where their monster goes? I hope so. The monsters in this game don't. The colors for the monsters don't do anything with these scoring cards, but because they fill up some spaces, they could potentially help with a Borderlands card, maybe. So yeah, they can definitely still help with scoring because it counts as a filled space. However, the monsters are also minus points during scoring. Every spot orthogonally adjacent, again diagonal never counts in this game, but orthogonally adjacent to the monster that's empty will be a minus point. So in this case, that's why it's nice that they start in a corner, by the way, because this is already blocked. But in this case, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 empty spaces. And it doesn't matter that this is adjacent to 3 spaces of monster. It's just next to a monster, yes or no. If yes, it's a minus point. So in order to get rid of those 5 minus points, I would need to fill this with some type of shape. And if I don't, it will be minus points, and that sucks. We don't like minus points. In this case, I'm just gonna draw evil little faces on my sheet. I've been known to draw really weird, detailed little monsters. I drew an evil sorcerer in my last game. But, like I said, I'm trying not to keep you guys waiting forever, so I'm trying to stick with basic shapes today. And as you can see, I'm pretty terrible at making them all the same size, especially when I'm talking and doing other stuff. So that's our first monster. By the way, just to show the difference in case you hadn't seen the Instagram post, this was my previous game with like a lot of little different buildings and teeny tiny detailed monsters. I get carried away with this sometimes. On the other side, this is what happens when I'm broken and actually too tired to play, but I still want to play it. So you can totally put as much or as little artistic skill in this as you want, and as much or as little effort into this as you want. As long as you're having fun, do whatever. And yeah, Tabletop Simulator would probably work nicely. Ah, and Ben has a better space now for a 1 space card if it comes up. Okay, so this goes out now. I hope everybody's got it. If not, please yell at me. And then we're moving on to the next card. A Forgotten Forest, either 2 spaces diagonally touching with a coin or a larger shape without a coin. I'm fine with the small one, actually. I think I'm gonna put it like this so that one removes a minus point from the monster and the other one is next to the edge. That seems like a good plan. And then I get another coin. Oh, I forgot to circle the coin for the second mountain I have surrounded. So I actually have 2 more coins to circle now. There we go. Cats, don't hit each other. Play nice. Yeah, at the end of every season, so not at the end of every card, but when we start tallying these B and C scoring cards, then you would also check your monsters for any potential minus points. So you have turns and rounds, basically. And a round would be a season and a turn would be a single card. Cat, you're in the way of the cards. That is not helpful. Come sit on my lap. Or on the floor, or somewhere else that's not on top of this game. Alrighty. I'm gonna make little grumpy monsters. They're now little sad monsters. Poor monsters. Poor unloved monsters. There we go. Coloring in my trees a little bit more, and hopefully by now you guys have caught up with me. At 5 out of 8, we get a large T shape in either a forest or an ocean because we're in the marshlands, which also helps for colorblind people, by the way. If you don't want to, if you're sitting a little bit further away from the cards and you can't really tell the difference between red or green, which is what happened to a friend of mine, you could just look at the artwork and be like, well, this is clearly trees and not a village. So the art helps, plus it's really pretty artwork, you guys. I really like the art style in this game. And this entire universe, by the way, Role Players also has some awesome artwork. And yes, I should still draw this shape, but I'm drawing some trees first. And then I can draw more trees, or I'm doing marshlands, I don't know yet. I might actually want to do the marshlands at this point. This one still scores now, and then afterwards it won't score anymore for the entire game. So if I still want to put more forest out, I should probably do it now instead of later. Or I can just start working on this one and surrounding more mountains. Tough choices. I think for the borderlines it might be good to do this and put that here. I would block another ruin space though, but we're already quite far into this season and we haven't run into a ruins yet, so I think I'm alright with that. Let's go for that. And then hopefully I can put something here in the final turn of this round. I would ideally want to put it here, but there's a mountain in my way. So we'll put it here instead. Worst case scenario, it's 3 points now. That's not exactly bad now, is it? I could have also opted to put it next to some more monsters as well, but I opted for this. That was an option to do like this and then get rid of 3 more minus points. It's kind of the same thing. It's 3 points here as well, and it's 3 minus points less there, so it's kind of both 3 points. And this, of course, scores minus points at the end of every season, so it might seem smarter to do that. The reason why I'm putting it here is because I also want to work on the Borderlands card a bit, and putting it here doesn't really help me with that an awful lot yet. But you might have made a different choice. Hi, Xade. Oh, I'm sorry. I plan on doing this for you guys' Palooza Girls Game Shelf Con in 2 weeks as well. I still have to pick a time to do that with Anna Maria, but we're gonna do this again for sure. It's a really fun game, I really like it, so I'm definitely planning on doing it again more often. But yeah, we're close to halfway through with the current game, so... But hey, it's on Switch, you can always watch it back later and play along at your own pace if you want, and in the meantime just hang out with us. No, I am so not doing this in Dutch. I can, but I'm trying to teach people that don't speak Dutch. Ah, nice, Ben. He's going for less minus points and more coins. That doesn't seem like a horrible plan at all. That seems like a great plan. And Sam says we can totally do it in Dutch. Yeah, you know how to play this, so you don't care. Great. Okay, next card I think, guys. A tiny farmland with a coin or a larger farmland in a plus shape without a coin. I think let's see, what are we at time-wise? We're at 6. I can put it here, then I'm sure I can score Borderlands. But then I'm stuck with a little tiny shape that doesn't really work well. I'm not sure I want to do that. I don't think I do, actually. I think I'm gonna put it here instead. And try to work on Borderlands like this as well. I put it along the edge. I'm never gonna fill the entire edge with forest, and we don't get more forest later on anyway. Where else am I close to doing a Borderlands? I don't think I'm super close anywhere quite yet, so I think I'm just gonna put it here or here next to the monsters. It's 2 less minus points. You know what? Let's go for less minus points this time. Because this is 2 and putting it next to a piece of mountain is only 1, so in this case I do think this is a smarter play. Well, Derek, if you can understand your chickens regardless of what language they speak, I'd be impressed. This is a really fun stream, you guys. Thank you all for being here. It's always nice to see the chat box be this lively. It was pretty busy yesterday with Tiny Epic Dinosaurs as well, even though that wasn't a play along. I feel like it's really been picking up lately. By the way, in case you didn't know, I got a really awesome package from USAPoly the other day with a bunch of Harry Potter themed games, including Harry Potter Codenames. So Sam, you get to play Codenames again sometime, Harry Potter style this time. But also it includes Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, which is a campaign style game. So I'm gonna start Tuesday, September 1st and play 1 year of that game every day. So in a week I'm gonna try and play through the entire campaign. I might have to delay it a day or two if I lose horrible and have to redo the same year over and over again. But I'm gonna try and do it in a week. And if I lose, just restart on that same evening. That's the goal anyway. And I also have Death Eaters Rising, which is cooperative, so I can also do a solo run through of that on Twitch. And then I have 3 games that are not solo, including the Codenames version. So I figured you wanted to play Codenames. And yeah, I should totally circle my coin. Thanks, Lycan. And no, there's only 1 0 card in each season, but it's possible at some point to get a shape that you can't legally place, and then you can do a single one instead. I know I've heard some people in live stream say you can also choose to ignore this and do a single one instead. That is not actually the case. I already thought it wasn't because the rulebook didn't say so, it only said you could do it if you can't place, but with the release of the app I am now certain that that's not allowed because the app does not allow you to do so and it has all the rules pre-programmed in. So we now have confirmation you can only place single squares if you have no other legal choice. And it doesn't matter. I've played Disney Codenames with people that pretty much didn't know any Disney movies and never saw any. So, by the way, I have no idea how you grew up without seeing any Disney movies, but apparently that's possible. Let's draw a new card. Our Ruins. And then this one, which would mark the end of the season. So we have to place this so that it overlaps a ruin space at least with one of its squares. So I can put it here or here or here. Oh, that means no Borderlands scoring for me this round. That's unfortunate. But I can score some more edge points at least, so let's go for that. I'm gonna put my forest here. Oh, I don't like Frozen. It's actually one of my least favorite Disney movies. But yeah, I've played Disney Codenames with people that don't know Disney, and you can definitely still hint in ways that it doesn't work, that you don't really need the knowledge, or that's really obvious. Usually with stuff like villain, people will still be able to know which ones are probably evil, but we've also played based on like seasons or colors or gender or animal versus human and all sorts of things that were more based on appearance than actually having any knowledge about the movies. And obviously if you play with a group that has a lot of knowledge about the franchise, if you're playing any of the themed codenames, whether that's Marvel or Harry Potter or Disney or whatever, then you can obviously do that. But it's possible to play with people that don't really know the franchise and treat it as a more regular Codenames Pictures type of thing, for sure. And the Harry Potter Codenames actually works similar to Codenames Duet in that it's fully cooperative. So there's not 2 teams battling each other. We're all trying to figure everything out together. So that would be a nice twist on the Codenames that most people know and play. I'm not sure if many people have played the 2-player version. So yeah, I think that'd be interesting to stream as well. And I'm definitely going to try and get some people together to do that on Twitch at some point as well. And of course we can also play it on Discord. So yeah, I think one on Discord to get used to the cards a little bit and then try to schedule something on Twitch at some point. Because the publisher requested if I can try to stream as many of the games they sent me as possible. So, and Codenames is always fun, so we can totally make that happen. Okay, so we're at scoring now. Again, every forest on the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Me counting out loud must be so annoying for people trying to count at the same time. Sorry about that. And then my Borderlands is 0, so that's easy. Then I have 5 coins at this point. I get 5 for that. And I have 1 minus point left for my monster, so my total will be 19. I should have put the farmland here and gotten 6 points. Oh well. The best thing about Frozen is the "Do you want to build a snowman" song, and that's about it. Honestly. I know some people really love it though, but I don't know, it never really clicked with me. Oh, Sam is running ahead now. I know I had the charity board game by quite a bit. I don't think anybody came super close to me. I think the closest person was about 10 points behind me in that game, so I'm totally prepared to lose this one. Ben also has quite a few more than I do. See? It's my turn to lose today, guys. I'll just color in my houses while you guys tally points. And my monsters. Yeah, I was on a real roll in that charity board gamer stream somehow. Felt like everything really came together for me that game. Maybe it's because I was only coloring solid blocks and not being distracted by shapes. I know I've heard people say they felt like they were doing much better on the app instead of real life because they're not distracted by drawing things. I can see how that happens, but I like coloring too much to care. Dean only has 14. I know Dean and I always joke that he never wins when he plays with me, so at least Dean is still perfectly in character. Oh, ouch. Sam said he lost pretty much every game in the extra live stream the past weekend. And Lycan only has 12. Well, at least I'm still beating my own gaming group. And yeah, Borderlands really helps once you can pull it off. I hope I can do it next season. Okay, I already put the monster to the side that we came across. Remember, there's still one in the deck, and now we're adding another one, because there's one per season, and we're heading into season 3. And these get shuffled back in as well. Sam says he's just gonna blame the fact that it was American English instead of British English. And yeah, like what you said, I'm the same way. I'm like, look, I have the Borderlands set up. It's just not coming together yet. Like, this is close and this was really close, but nope, no cigar. I'm shuffling this for an awfully long time. Let's see if it actually helps. Alright, let's give it a go. I think everybody's caught up now. By the way, this is super fun. We should totally do this more often. I always like streaming, but I definitely think this is one of my favorites to stream. And I also really like Patchwork Doodle for the same reason it has coloring, but obviously this one is a little bit more thematic, and I can understand why people get more excited about this one. Plus, you know that there's a hazard in there somewhere, so that's more exciting, and you don't know what's coming up, so it has more tension than Patchwork Doodle does. Patchwork Doodle definitely is more on the relaxing side. By the way, I can put this upside down because it's no longer relevant. Because now we're scoring these two, and in the last round we're scoring these two. Starting with an orchard. Well, that's probably going to be farmland then, because it's not useful to make it anything else at this point. By the way, I would really like more villages. I was hoping to make this one worth an awful lot of points by game end, but that does not look like it's happening, you guys. Choices, choices, choices. I have no idea where I want to put this, if I'm honest. I mean, here looks nice except for the whole Borderlands thing, you know? I could put it here, but then I might get in trouble with the ruined spaces later on. It does help for the Borderlands, though. I don't know what I want to do. I really don't. Where else did I need stuff? Oh, I needed stuff here. Let's go for this. Then I can make sure at least one of the Borderlands scores, and I put yellow next to a mountain, so that will score for Mage's Valley. Let's go for that. That seems like a good call. If you are forced to put something on a ruined space and you cannot, then it counts. It counts as one single square of that particular color. So if this was the card that had to be placed on a ruins, you would instead place one single forest or one single farmlands anywhere else on your sheet. You can never do that voluntarily, only if the required shape doesn't fit where it's supposed to go. Look at me actually being sort of caught up with coloring. And thanks, Sam. I try to do kind of a different style every time, but this making basic shapes with a fine liner meant that it had a little bit more detail than just plain old blocks without slowing down the game too much for you guys, so I figured this would be a nice style to use in the live stream. At some point I'm gonna do it with paint. I've seen in a Loozapalooza stream, I've seen a patchwork doodle stream with actual paint on a canvas, and that was bloody amazing. I totally need to do that at some point. And then probably put this under a copier so that it's way bigger to make it easier. But teeny tiny painting is also fun, with like little toothpicks as brushes. I used to actually customize My Little Pony toys for people, where I'd completely redrew their symbols and put new hair in them and stuff like that. And you had to draw really detailed symbols like this tiny, so you used a toothpick for the details. But that's been a couple years. I definitely lost a bunch of artistic ability over the years, and now I just color for fun. Alright, next card. Hopefully everybody's ready. It's gonna be on a ruins. And it's going to be the Great River, so either a straight line or a little staircase type thing. This one comes with a coin, and it has to overlap a ruin space if possible. So mine has to go somewhere here or somewhere here, and obviously I want it to be next to a mountain. In this case I'm gonna go for this one and not go for the coin, because then I can put it next to two mountain spaces, and a coin will only count 2 more times, so that's 2 points, and in this case it's also 2 points because it's another one next to a mountain for the scoring card. So I prefer to do it like that and also make my Borderlands goals a little easier, hopefully. Or at least attempt to make those a little easier. What would be the way to go there? Choices. I'm not sure where I want to start this line exactly. Oh wait, I also have this one. I could also maybe start off here. No, that doesn't help. This doesn't work. Probably does have to start here then. And probably in this corner. It can also, no, it cannot go in this corner. I think it's gonna go here then. Or it can go at the bottom. Wait, it had to go over ruins. It has to go in the bottom. Why am I debating this? I almost forgot about the ruins, you guys. Why was I looking at the rest of my sheet again? See, this is what happens when I chat with you guys. I get all distracted. I think I picked a darker blue than I did before. Whoops. Let me fix that. Ta-da! And nobody was none the wiser. And then it can go like this or like this. This one is more full, so it seems better to go for this one. Like this, I suppose. Alright, one ruin space met. I draw some waves on there, and I do not get a coin for that. There we go. Still not happy with the fact that the sea is too blue, but I'm too lazy to get an eraser for that. I hope everybody's ready now. By the way, usually these games do wrap up in an hour, but we're chatting less and coloring less, and that will be quicker. I hope it's not overstaying its welcome for you guys. And you can definitely run through a game in 30 to 45 minutes if you color a lot quicker and spend less time on this. Ooh, it's a tiny one again. I can put that here still, so I can score this, but it will make the mountain harder. But I don't think I'm going to get all of the mountains, so I might be okay with that and just making sure I score the borderlands. I don't think there's another place I really want to put it. I can also put it here. That's 1 point for the mountain and a minus point less for this. We're at 4 out of 7. I think I'm okay with gambling that I can do this later, and I hope I'm not going to regret this. I really regretted it last time, so... let's hope I'm not screwing myself over a second time here. Apparently Lycan is very happy with this one. I do get the coin for it, yes, so that's nice. And I figured it was definitely good to do something with the black liner in the live stream so that it's clear for you guys what I'm drawing instead of just doing faded colored pencils. I hope everybody's ready for the next card by now. I'll grab a quick drink of water in case anybody wants to shout at me that they're not. Well, you did ask me to draw nicely, so apparently I'm listening. Don't get used to it. Alright, new card. Yay, that's the one I was totally hoping for. That goes really nicely here. And now I have to debate whether I'm going to put it like this for this one next round or like this and score 2 points now. I think I really prefer this. No, cats play nice. Don't kill my game. Thank you. Let's go for the village. Even though we're going to get less points for that, it should help with this one if we can extend this in the next season. Also, we are at 6 out of 7 times, so we are going to get one more card. I wish we would... I hope we haven't had a 0 yet. I'm really hoping we get the 0 first and then another card so that I can get another Borderlands line filled in before that happens, but that's very wishful thinking. I mean, you can see there's quite a few cards in this stack now that the cat attempted to knock over the entire stack. So the chance of me pulling out that 0 really isn't high. And no, there are multiple runes in the deck, so it's possible to get a whole bunch of runes or none at all. But they are always in the deck. I can check if I can see how many there are. I think it says so in the rulebook how many there are... No, it doesn't say so. It just says 13 Explorer cards and some of those are runes. I know there's at least 2 of them. I think there might be 3, but I'm not completely sure. So it is possible that we get another one of those. But they are combined with something, so it doesn't let us draw anything extra. So it wouldn't help if I'm trying to fill up 2 things in 2 different spaces. There we go. House is done. Yeah, the monsters might actually help me because they start in a corner and these are both edges of my sheet. So, or even like this and then put something there. So yeah, a monster would definitely be kind of helpful now. And yeah, there are still 3 monsters in this deck, so the chance of us getting a monster is not awful. Or not great, depending on whether you want a monster or not. Alright, yeah, and I also only have 1 rune left, and it's possible to draw a shape where it doesn't fit too well, so... Let's go. And it's kobolds. It's as if you knew what was in here. Lycan called it, guys. We have kobolds. And they start in this corner of our sheet. And they have to go upwards if they don't fit. So mine would have to go in these 4 spots, but it doesn't fit. So it has to move up 1 and then it goes like this. Well, that's not helpful. Jimmy, the kobolds are not helpful. I blame you for this. Oh man, that's kind of sucky. Oh well, that's where they go anyway. At least they're not an awful lot of minus points. Guess some of the minus points are already gotten rid of, but the minus point that I'm gonna get for this square is gonna be awfully hard to get rid of. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for the ruins card next. And honestly, for getting monsters now, I'm fine with just getting all 3 of the monsters. Or 3? No, that's not true. There's 2 in there because this is the 3rd. The Gnoll, and the last one doesn't come in until winter. But I'm fine getting the other monster still in the deck after this. Maybe he will help with my Borderlands card. Plus, the more cards we draw that aren't unnumbered, the bigger the chance of me finding that 0 card. Aww. Yeah, my Borderlands are also messed up because of this. And yeah, that 0 card would be very nice. I'm really hoping for that one as well. Let me draw some sad looking monster shapes. And it's almost done. I just have to color in their faces now, but I can do that later. Everybody figured out where this goes? Yeah, I know the feeling, Ben. And it's a 1, so that will put us at 7, I believe. Does it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it does. And this doesn't even go there. Oh, man. At least I can enclose another mountain, and if I do that here, the Borderlands don't do anything anymore after this anyway, so if I do that here, I can get some minus points out and a coin, so I think that's gonna go up there. It seems like a good call. Or as good a call as any at this point. So putting it here would only be really useful if we did get another Borderlands. The downside of putting it here is that it might make increasing that village harder, but I'm gonna have to increase this one before I increase the size of that one anyway, so I think I'm alright with this. There we go. Teeny tiny forest. And drawing in some trees and then scoring. And let me also color in the monsters while I'm at it. There we go. Yeah, the diagonal fixes stuff a bit, but it unfortunately does not fix my Borderlands. Why do you want another one, Lycan? Or did you say that before I drew the card? Oof, 5 Borderlands. Sam is slaying this game. Alright, so I got 1 coin for this shape and 1 coin for surrounding this mountain. Eek! I killed my forest with my pen. I'm sorry, forest. This tree is now getting slashed down. Okay, so Borderlands. I have 1 here, and that's it. So only a pitiful 12. Sam has 30 there. That's insane. And then we get this one. And remember, the farmland is 1 point, and the oceans are 2. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for me. Then my coins are 2, 4, 6, 8. And my monsters are -1, 2. That's not bad. So that's 20, 30 for me. That's what Sam has on this card alone, so ouch. 34, 32. Pretty close, you guys. By the way, why does my camera keep going out of focus, or is that just on my screen? I hope that's just on my screen. 41. Oh, that's less high than I was fearing. Sam is still running away with this game, though. Oh man, I only just noticed I could have done another Borderlands. Oh no, not true. I thought this was another shape, the other half. I was like, I could have done this, but no, I couldn't. Because I only placed this here and then I sorted 2 more spaces. So no, I could not. Well, alright then. It is what it is. Ah, you got a lot of minus points on those monsters. Well, my monsters were quite nice. That's why they're all set. They can't damage me enough. I'm shuffling in the last monster now, so there's 2 more in this deck because we only faced 2 of them so far. And we're moving on to winter, which can potentially be a very short season. I've also had a game where I kept drawing everything except the numbers too, and only drew zeros and ones and ruins and all that. And I drew almost the entire deck, so you never know. This one can also go upside down. It doesn't do anything anymore. You can see now that the skull cards are separated by 4 different categories. And those categories do not match. It doesn't say so clearly in the rulebooks at the beginning. First time I played this, was like, does the green card go here? But no, that's not the case. They do go in a random order. So that definitely helps increase replayability. 19 and Dean has figured out how to play. That's always... that's what I like about you, Dean. You always treat your first playthroughs as, well, we'll figure it out as we go along. And the second time I'll do much better. I know any completed rows or columns indeed. Ben is also just learning now. It happens. That's why we're learning this. I will happily play it with you guys again sometime. I'm having a lot of fun. So I'm totally fine with that. Okay, I've shuffled this obsessively. Let's see if this will go better now. Alright, we're starting with Hamlet. So a tiny triangle or a bigger one. And only 1 time, and I can increase my village that way. Also, now we're getting this. I wanted to do this the previous round for the Borderlands. But then I would have 1 big village and I would have made my life harder for this one. So, I suppose this is alright. I'm just gonna go put that here somewhere. Now that I'm putting these next to each other, I can see I did not grab the same red pencil that I did the first square I colored. Whoops. Where's the other one then? I think I used this one the first time. I did. Oh well. Again, not worth getting out the eraser for. I'll deal with it. Let me draw tiny houses in this. Oh, and not forget to circle my coin, of course. And it's totally possible that if I'm watching a replay, I will find out that I forgot a coin at some point somewhere anyway, but that's just what happens sometimes. That is a benefit of playing on the app. The app will do that for you, so you can never forget a coin. Or overlook anything that would score points. I can help. Yeah, this is definitely one that works well with families as well. I think this works well with a whole lot of different play styles. Especially because people can make this as quick or as slow as they want and put as little or as much effort into it as they want. And if this is too involved for people, you can opt for Patchwork Duel instead, which has a similar thing about putting shapes in different spots, but it has less replayability because it scores the exact same way every game. It does have more shapes though, and you don't see all of them every game, so that helps a bit. By the way, is it just on my end that the camera keeps going out of focus, or is it happening for you guys too? And yeah, what Sam says about Borderlands. It can be hard. I think it would be nice on D. Okay, great. I'm glad it's focusing well on you guys. And I tend to put my live stream up on my laptop as well, but then I'm locked in on both ends, so it has trouble displaying properly on the laptop sometimes by going out of focus and lagging and doing all sorts of weird things. But that way I can see the chat box easier than looking on my phone, because my phone is about about as high as my forehead at the moment, so that's hard to read. Treetop Village. Elongated Z shape. Hi, cat. Do you want to be in a treetop village? Yes. Hi, Fluff. Hi. You have a little wound underneath your chin. Did you fight with another cat? Yes, you did. Okay, let's see. This one is 3, 6, 8, and this one's only 6, so I want to make this one larger. And I'm gonna put this somewhere here. Preferably not in the ruins, because that might make my life more difficult later on if we do draw another ruins, so I'm gonna put it here. I really like this game when we head into winter, because your sheet becomes more full, and I really like how it all seems to come together and really make one big map like it's meant to. I mean, it's cartographers after all, and at the beginning you're just like, well, this is a blank sheet of paper with some random squares colored in, and at the end it really does feel like I made a map. Yay. And yes, I can totally be joyful about little things in life like this. I don't think Floof would be good in a treetop village. Floof is scared of everything. Yes, you are. It took him a couple months to figure out he could actually jump on the table. Floof, you're blocking cards. That's not helpful. Don't block cards. That's better. Yes, you can sit directly next to the cards. That's fine. Oh, I forgot to color the roof of that one little house. Let me fix that. Hi, honey. Yes. Alright. Moving on. I hope everybody's ready. And there are the bugbears. And they have to start in this corner of your sheet. And if they don't fit there, you have to move down. Well, I'm not going to be able to place the bugbears in many places at all, because they don't fit anywhere here either. The only place in my sheet the bugbears will fit is here or further inwards, but you always have to check the outer edge first. So I would run here first, otherwise they would have come here or here or here. That's the only 4 spaces it will still fit on my sheet actually. But that means I'm starting in this corner and moving in this direction, so they're gonna land here. And yeah, there are 2 empty spaces between them, so my bugbears are gonna end up here and here. If there is absolutely no legal spot anywhere on your map, then you don't get a monster. And if you still had a Borderlands card, you might be unhappy with that, but in this case, you mostly get to luck out and not have to deal with more minus points, so I think in this case, you might be quite happy with that. It's rare, but it's possible. In my case, it was also not like I had a billion spots left for this. And bugbear is definitely one of the trickier shapes, but yeah, if there is one. And yeah, starting at top right, Sam, and then moving clockwise. I'll give people some time to find their placements and color in my monsters in the meantime. And if you're like me, you do want to do details and you can't keep up with stuff, you can always just color block first or outline or whatever and then do details later. That's what I did when I was playing with the charity board gamer, because he did a full game in like 50 minutes. And even if I'm trying to draw quickly, I'm not gonna make that happen, you guys. And yeah, it's possible that the spot in the middle is filled, that's allowed. Yeah, my monsters are also seem to be at war. They're all really close together too. Oof, Ben lost his last Romans too. The first ones were the gnolls, so we got gnolls, kobolds and bugbears. I should still check the BGG store after this to see if we can get the ambush cards that way, or order them somewhere else, but definitely get them. I did check some of my favorite Dutch web shops the other day for any of the promo stuff, but it wasn't there. Because it's my birthday Saturday, so I figured I could toss that in with some birthday stuff. But nope. I did get awesome early birthday presents for my friends though. They got me Underwater Cities and they got me Trismegistus from the same guys as Teotihuacan. So I'm really happy about that. And we've pre-ordered Everdell and Architects of the West Kingdom because they're coming out in Dutch and they had like this sale where we could pre-order them at like half price. So that's pretty neat. But this game actually comes with a promo card for role player as well, so you get the cartographer class for the role player game, which is neat. But yeah, I'm definitely super pleased, and Cartographers was my birthday present to myself. So, very happy with that choice. Let's draw the next card. Another 2, so we're at 5 out of 6, and we have a fishing village. Let's see, what is this one at size-wise? 6, 9, 10, 11, so this one should go here. Still trying to maximize these. Let's see, what is this one? 3, 6, 8, yeah, then it's definitely better to put it here compared to getting another coin and 2 points for that. That's just 3, and this one is gonna be 4 or 6 or something. Anyway, more, and also get some minus points out. So this definitely seems like the logical, obvious choice for my sheet. I feel like we're getting a lot of really big shapes this game. Sometimes you get like the little tiny village or the little tiny treetop one where you just get the 2 diagonal pieces of forest and then your sheet will look a lot emptier. I also had a game where we kept getting the really big corner shape. And if you combine it with a big one like this, then your sheet will definitely get very full. And obviously bringing out all of the monsters helps. You got 3 out of 4 monsters. If we're getting another one, that would also help. I think I've had one game where we just had 1 monster, and the game from the charity board game we only had 2 come out. So that definitely makes quite a bit of difference in how full your sheet will end up being. There we go. And yeah, I don't think I have money for the other Kickstarter though. I did look at that, the lockup one I think you're talking about. It did look really interesting. But especially with me getting more games to review and live stream from publishers, I don't really all that often get around to playing other new stuff in addition to that. And I still have games on my shelf of shame, so I'm trying not to get too many new games unless I really, really badly want them. And I do think Lockup looks interesting, but it didn't feel like an immediate must-have for me. It'll probably still go on like a want-and-trade wishlist type thing at some point, but it wasn't one I wanted to get right now. And there have been some Kickstarters recently that I was really excited about, like the expansion for Endangered with all of the different new animal scenarios is one that I ended up getting. What else did I back recently? I did back some other stuff. I have a problem. I'm addicted to board games. But hey, that's beneficial to you guys. That means you get to play more games here and learn more games. That's the base color, that's not the roof color. There we go. I think everybody's ready now, so let me draw the new one while I draw in the bases of the house. That's 7, that's gonna be our last card. What size is this one now? 3, 6, 9, 10, 12. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So this would only add 2 more points. I'm putting it here would add 3, so I'm gonna put it there. Actually, I can make it if I can. That would also be 3. It doesn't matter what color I make this. I can either score this one more or score more for the village. Works either way. And either way I get a mountain, so I'll color the farmlands. I like the look of those. For more variety on my sheet. So I did count that right. 3, 6, 9, 11, 3, 6, 9, 12. Yep. So I would get from 22 to 24. And now I scored 2 points for the farmland adjacent to the mountain. So nope, doesn't matter points wise. And look guys, I have another borderlands. Totally doesn't matter anymore. That looks nice. Going for that. But yeah, it's definitely a good family game. I know in the Charity Board Gamer livestream, the entire Kids Planning family also joined in, for example. It was a lot of fun. Those guys make great content, by the way. You should check them out. Aw, really? That's awful, Dean. I live on the wrong side of the country. It wasn't me. I live on the wrong side of the world, even, not the country. There's a whole big ocean in between us. Alright, scoring time. So, this one. Remember, 1 for the farmland and 2 for the water. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for me. And then this one is 12 space and this one is 11. 11 multiplied by 2 is 22. And then my coins, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 coins. And then minus 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not awful. And then I'm at 20, 30, 40, 42. I have the answer to the universe. Woohoo. I don't think that's bad, Ben, because I think you said you started playing along a little later and not from the first card, right? Alright, so now I get to tally this up. 72, 82, 92, 91, 96. I think 106 if I'm not mistaken. I hate math. I think I'm at 106. Someone correct me if I did that wrong. I don't think I did. 40, 70, 80, 81. I think I did that right. Oh. You're right, you cannot see that. Probably can't see it like this either because it's tiny, but I think I did that right. Close scores, you guys. 104, 104, 106, 108. Sam beat me by 2 points. Close. And Dean says 71. But yeah, other than that, it was a really close game. Cool. Feel free to share your sheet with me on social media if you'd like. You can always send it to me. I am known in those games on Facebook and Instagram, and it's also my Gmail email address. You can upload it to your own social media and tag me, or try to send it to me on my page or whatever. Oh yeah, in case you want to do the solo scoring mode, then what you would be doing is you would check the numbers in the bottom of the scoring cards. So let's see, in this case it's 20, 25, 24 and 22. So that's a total of 20, 40, 60, 80, 89, 91. And you would do this minus 91 and that would be your score for the solo mode. And you can have different rankings which start at minus whatever, and the best score, the best rank is 30 points or more. So nobody got that. I think we're all perfectly average when we're taking solo scoring into account. This was a lot of fun, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Yes, Floof, did you also enjoy it? I'm glad you did the math for that, and I can just say I had 2 more points than you. That helps. I love it when other people do my math for me. Well, guys, thank you so much for playing. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. I hope to see some of you around at my Hogwarts Battle playthroughs next week. Come hang out and say hi. As always, if you have any requests for me to play through any particular games, whether that's a play along or a solo mode so you can learn how it works, feel free to send me those requests. And yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for playing. My battery is now dying in 30 seconds, my phone says. Perfect timing. I'm gonna have to head off, guys. Thank you for being here. See you all soon.